are live and everything is working fine. We know that every week there was a technical issue, and 9 times out of 10, it's generally me that gets something wrong. I can hear me and I can see me, so that is good. How's everybody been this week? It's been a weird one for lockdown here in the UK, but it's been good fun. We have got a phenomenal guest tonight, a brilliant stage performer, a brilliant and renowned hypnotist in her own right, one of the few successful female hypnotists as well, doing the stage, and she's been a headliner on cruise ships for over a decade. She's a phenomenal hypnotist with some brilliant branding. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. So please, I just got a what happened there. So please make some noise for our guest on the other side of this graphic, which is Nadine Manuel. Hey, there you are. So did I pronounce that right? My sister's called Nadine, and she gets dead frustrated by people calling her Nadine. So I didn't know which was the right way around there. So I thought I'd make a guess and go for the way my sister likes it to be pronounced. So is it Nadine or Nadine?
Well, my mom says it the second way, but almost everybody else says it the first way. So I'm happy with how you feel comfortable. Makes me most comfortable.
Brilliant.
So the first one. Hey, if I know you love your sister, so if I have the same name as your sister, then that's even better for me.
Fantastic. We've got a couple of hellos there as well. Natasha Stanley says, what happens? I think that's because we were chatting when we went live. Jason Simmons says, hi, Grant. Hope you are well. All good at this end. Jason is a hypnotist here in the south of England that tunes in every week, so he will definitely have some questions for you. First things first, obviously COVID is going on the world over, but it's weird that some places are in different stages of COVID, lockdown, etc. You're in LA, probably one of the most glamorous places in the world. How is LA at this moment in time with regards to lockdown?
Los Angeles is a funny one because LA County kind of goes by its own rules than the rest of California. But it's weird. I mean, bars are open to a certain time. They can't play sports channels, but it's like everywhere else. It's a kind of a mess and doing its own thing. But I'm so grateful to be here in sunny California, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I must admit, if you're going to be in lockdown somewhere, Los Angeles is probably a better choice than just by the Pennines in Yorkshire, in northern England, where we've got snow and ice on the ground. That bars are opening but can't play sports. There's talk of our bars being open soon, but not allowed to sell alcohol, which is a bit bizarre.
Yeah, it's a strange one. But even in respect to like education and schools, I had a college in upstate New York that wanted me to perform this week, and in 2 weeks from now. And I told my agent, there's no way. I don't want to get on an airplane. And again, because I've been on airplanes in 2020 and 2021, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. So they moved the show till April, and I think most institutions are really understanding about that.
Yeah.
But I was full on prepared to let someone else have the gig.
Yeah, it's been weird. I've done one show during lockdown, and I put everything in place with face masks and visors, and the response and how animated it just, for me, you can get away with it, but it wasn't the type of show that I want to be known for, if you know what I mean. So it's I think I'm waiting until it's all cleared before I do anything. So yeah.
There's always that like weird feeling in the midst of a pandemic, being on stage, touching people, even though you have masks.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fine line, but if somebody chooses to do it, I fully respect that. And as long as you feel safe and the people that you're working with feel safe.
I mean, that's it. I mean, we have that responsibility for the people on stage and everything else that's going on. Go back to the beginning. What first got you interested in hypnosis or stage hypnosis?
Oh gosh, I actually kind of stumbled upon hypnosis. It helped cure a lifelong depression I had, and after just one session, I unlocked what I thought was completely impossible, what I worked my whole life trying to heal from, which was depression. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, like if this could help me, or if somebody facilitated this incredible tool to allow me to help myself, then I can sure go out and help other people. So after my first session, I knew that this is what I'd be doing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And that was, 19 years ago, and here we are.
It's amazing that, I mean, I suppose most performers have felt the same during lockdown. Hypnosis is not something we do, it's part of who we are. And I think once you get that bug, it filters into every different part of your life. So, yeah.
Yeah, what a incredible magical tool to be able to carry with us through life.
Yeah.
And share. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the important thing for performing hypnosis and stage hypnosis, is it's a great way to showcase hypnosis as, for what it is in an entertaining way. But it's a great way to market and advertise that actually hypnosis is a profound way of making those changes as well. Now you do a lot of the therapy and keynote stuff as well as the entertainment stuff. Which came first for you?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually therapy background, and I did it therapeutically. I'd hypnotized thousands of people therapeutically before I ever even got on stage to do it. And I because it's such a core part of who I am. If you've ever seen a live show or even footage of me during a full show, I always sprinkle in, no matter how adult the content is or what's going on stage, I always find ways to sprinkle in some of the therapeutic elements and aspects of it. So that way my stage is always a platform for the therapy. And I think actually that's kind of been one of the keys to my success, because the audience really appreciates it.
Yeah.
And so does whoever hired me. Yeah.
Yeah. In my experience, it is kind of like, if you promote it in a positive way, it's always going to do well. Using that stage to give that positive message in an entertaining way. And audiences have changed over the years. In maybe the 80s and 90s, people just wanted people to do silly things and look ridiculous. Whereas now I find audiences are more interested in they're fascinated by the induction, by the psychology behind the process as well. So I think audiences have matured as well. So
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, you do.
Oh, I was going to say, go ahead.
No, go on.
Oh, I was just going to, I guess attach on to that comment. I think the more holistic therapies have come to the forefront, the more people begin to embrace something like hypnosis, especially meditation becoming more popular. People understand it's a close cousin. I mean, you make somebody do something absolutely so out of character on stage, they're going to say, oh my gosh, if she could get me to, think I was having a baby, well, surely she can get me to stop smoking, or, whatever it is. And as a stage hypnotist, I kind of feel like it's our responsibility on stage to be like, hey, myself or some other hypnotist out there can also help you with these things. Like, it doesn't have to end here on stage. Let's use this amazing application that just gave you entertainment, made you laugh for an hour. Let's look at some of the other applications too.
Yeah. And it's exactly like you said, it's that profound experience that if it can make someone do that, then surely it can help with, quitting smoking, having more confidence, or any of the, therapeutic tools that come with it. How did you go from therapy to a headline at cruise ships? I mean, that's a massive step.
Yeah. So I know a lot of other hypnotists tune into this channel, and I will tell you something that I probably wouldn't have admitted this decade of my career. Now I'm in a place where I can admit it. The fourth stage hypnosis show I'd ever done on my life was in front of thousands of people on a cruise ship.
Wow.
I'd only been on stage in my life, 3 times before that.
Wow.
So I believe, it's something I completely manifested. I called it in. It's a really good example of desire can trump even experience. Desire, enthusiasm, charisma, to really get what you want in life. And so 4 years after I had been, I've been doing it therapeutically for 4 years. I made the announcement that, do you want to know the story? Actually, it's kind of a cool story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was 25 years old, I announced to my mom, Mom, I'm going to be like, I'm going to be a headliner in the cruise lines. And she's, of course, Nadine, you're crazy. You always have these wild ideas. And I'm like, no, Mama, like, I'm going to do it. And I'd never been on stage at this point.
Wow.
And I was running a hypnotherapy office. And I went to a NGH convention, met other stage hypnotists, made friends with somebody, and who was already doing it on ships. And basically, I knew the opportunity was there, so I went out and sold tickets, got myself an opening act in a big theater in Buffalo, New York, called the Riviera, at Historic Theater. Filled it, got the footage I needed, and as soon as the opportunity came, I gave that footage. But a month before that, I was in Zihuatanejo, Mexico, and some friends had taken me there. I was too broke to go. I was running a hypnotherapy office. And on the last day we were sailing, and these 2 cruise ships came in. I'd never seen a cruise ship in my life before. So I pulled out my camera and I started taking pictures of it. My friend said, Nadine, what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. But I felt compelled to take pictures of these ships. After the trip, my ass was broke. I was broke. But I was having the best education in the world because I was able to do therapy every day. And I had developed 2 pictures from this trip, one of the friends and one of a cruise ship. And as I was staring at this photograph, just staring at it, connecting to it on a soul level, the phone rang, and it was my friend. And he goes, Nadine, you lucky, powerful bitch. And I said, whoa, why are you swearing at me? And he goes, I have been, I've been trying to get on the Norwegian Star for the last, 10 years or whatever. How the hell did you do it? And I said, what are you talking about? He goes, congratulations, you're now the new guest entertainer for Norwegian Cruise Lines. You're a headliner, you're going to go on at this time. And I'd turned 26. And I said to him, what ship am I going on? He said, the Norwegian Star. And I said to him, and he goes, how the hell did you do it? I looked at that picture a little closer and I said, you never took a picture of it.
Wow.
So yeah, so not only had I seen the ship, taken a picture of it and developed it, but just a few months after I'd taken that picture, I ended up on the exact same cruise ship. Out of the thousands of ports in the world and the hundreds of ships, I ended up on the exact same ship I had just taken a picture of a few months before. Now looking from the outside in, or the inside out rather than the outside in.
Absolutely.
And
Natasha Stanley says she made good use of the law of attraction there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It kind of reminds me, like in the movie of The Secret, the guy ended up living in the house he'd taken a photo of, sort of thing. Yeah. And it's been a love affair with the cruise lines ever since. Yeah.
The first cruise ship, I always tell this story, is one of my biggest disasters. The first cruise ship I ever did, the cruise director came to me on the 2nd or 3rd day into it and goes, Grant, do you speak any other languages? And I'm like, no, just English. And he's like, it's the first time we've docked in Hamburg, and 80% of the passengers are retired Germans. It was one of the hardest shows I've ever done. So yeah.
Well, I love the German demographic because a lot of them do speak English.
Yeah.
I find, and because they would come on the Panama Canal cruises all the time. I would be like, yay, the Germans are coming, because they love my seminars and they always, bought all my stuff. And yeah, just a population that's really into stuff like hypnosis, I find.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see the question on screen there, but Jason Simmons says, this is an amazing story. How did you get together your first show and how different is it now?
Ooh, that's a great question. So first show, like every other hypnotist, I opened up Ormond McGill's, book, which I actually do have a signed copy of his professional stage hypnosis hypnotist, because I got to meet him. Yeah, he used to go to all the NGH conventions.
Cool.
And so just like the most normal material you can imagine, nothing special. I think here's the thing: I didn't know anything about being a show person. I didn't know how to be funny myself. but I sure knew how to hypnotize the heck out of people.
Yeah.
Like I knew I could create trance state in order to help people. So if I could create trance state to get people to stop a heroin addiction, I knew I could get people to do funny things on stage. So so that part of the show I knew I could do. And it was just like, okay, how do I draw out the best parts of these people's personalities? How do I find scenarios? And then, so the first show, there isn't really much of the same elements. A few things here and there, which is more of a comfort level. And I find as a performer, if you're really comfortable with the material and you're having fun doing it, it almost doesn't matter what the material is if you can really execute it. So it is pretty significantly different. And I think the shows evolve, and I've been so lucky to do this on a cruise ship, to be able to evolve with my audiences. So sometimes the audience will say something that will get a big laugh. Yeah. And then the next show or the next week, I'll kind of use what that person in the audience said, or somebody will do something really funny on stage, and the show just evolves. Yeah. And it's just this incredible synergy you have with your amazing volunteers on stage, but also the people who came to see the show as well.
Yeah, you touched on a great point there as well. When you talk about bringing out the best of their personalities on stage, which is the right mindset to have. You know, a lot of people when they're first coming into this try and make the people on stage do something under hypnosis rather than bring out the best of their personalities. And it is their personalities exaggerated that makes the shows as funny as they are. Interesting.
Yeah. And I found from experience too, the best way to draw out the personalities is build rapport with them. When your people come up on stage, make a point to make eye contact with them, you know, like really from like human to human.
Yeah.
Let them relate to you, let them feel like they know you. And when it comes time for the big, you know, the big climax, the big finale of the show, what you suggest, they're probably going to do
it. Yeah, absolutely. A couple of points that you said there in the run up to that, and I always kind of say this, and it's a bit weird. I always tend to say a lot of therapists, I don't believe make good entertainers, or not many do, because I think they pick up a lot of bad habits on the therapy side of things. But there's a few people like yourself that kind of break through as well. And I think it's really interesting when you say that like your fourth show was your cruise ship show, because I think a lot of people, myself included, they spend so long doing hypnosis in clubs and venues. By the time they get to cruise ships, they've picked up so many bad habits that they can't perform on those big stages. So to start early on those big stages is an absolute testament to you, and you've not picked up the bad habits. And it's easy to work down. If you do a big stage, you can do a small stage. It's not always the other way around.
Yeah, I think the difference is most stage hypnotists start doing high schools, nightclubs, colleges, where it's easy to induce trance. People want to be ridiculous. When your demographic is the Alaska crowd in 2007, 2006, and it's all silver-haired people because the cruise ship industry is right on the brink of exploding. Not yet, but just, you know, before they had all the cameras on the ships. It's challenging because they're an older demographic and they want to be entertained. They're not there to entertain you. So you really learn how to, I guess, sort of like slow it down. I think therapy background really served me in that respect, because it's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have anything to fall back on. Like I have people who with walkers and canes who came up on stage. I learned through experience to tell those people to enjoy the show from their seats. But in the beginning, you know, anybody I could get, I would, but I knew how to hypnotize them. Yeah. And I knew, you know, and I just, but you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I think that, so not having entertainment experience, but having a pretty good amount of hypnosis experience, I think made my style very conducive early on for cruise ships. Because I think if I had done even a dozen nightclubs, I think that I don't know if it would have gone as well, actually.
Yeah. We've got a quick hello there from Adrian Knight as well, who's another cruise ship hypnotist as well, over here from Ireland. When you talk about your style as well, one thing I always joke about is but most stage hypnotists tend to have migraines. You know, we get a lot of this going on. There's a lot of headache poses. There's a lot of stereotypical stage hypnosis posters. I brought up a copy of, I believe it's your show poster here, which I just think I'm going to bring it on screen now with the three of us there. I mean, I just think that is just such a powerful image. That is a great looking poster. No pocket watches, no headaches, no migraines. That's absolutely fantastic. How long has that been your first poster, or how did that evolve?
No, that's like a 7th or 8th generation poster, maybe. That one, I think that I'm gonna say I just got lucky. My best friend is a photographer, and you know, I just got really lucky with a powerful pose. And what happened was my feet were starting to hurt from my high heels, so I crossed one leg over the other, and she goes, "Nadine, stay like that." And so I did, and my hands just kind of fell, and somehow, you know, just those lucky poses. But there is a photo shoot after that one where I also got a really powerful. I'm wearing it's not really out yet. I haven't really posted on Facebook or anything. Where I'm wearing a black leather jacket. So there's another shoot after that one, and I think that photo shoot was maybe 1.5 years ago now, or oh my gosh, 2 years. Wow, flies.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think we can delete 2020. It was just a blip. It didn't really happen. Again, a great tip that you said then as well about in the run up to that first show, you hired or you were booked at a theatre where you got the good footage that you could use to get the bookings on the cruise ships. And I think it was Anthony.
Yeah, Grant. I went old school. What I did was I went and I printed off professional looking tickets. And I mean, I'm in my mid-20s at the time. I'm 25 years old. What do? I go out to the nightclubs and I start giving away tickets.
Yeah.
I have people sell tickets for me. I had a really great opening act. I made it so legit in a theater that people used to frequent or hadn't seen. And I think that again, it's where desire somehow and charisma, I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. The universe has a way of making things kind of fall into place.
Yeah. Napoleon Hill calls it a burning desire.
Yes. I must admit, I love Napoleon stuff, which I always believe is the originator of The Secret, the kind of how to get rich and his principles. I have a short clip here from I believe this is from a cruise ship. This promo reel.
I think it is.
Yes. We shall play this and we shall see you on the other side.
All right.
For some hypnotized in literally seconds. And I'll tell you this, hypnosis feels really, really good. Like really good. Tonight, you are the world's greatest sandcastle builder. happened? Bitch stood in my Turn around and tell them. Did you see it? Did you see that?
There we go. Fantastic clip. Nice, fast cuts. It's great to see hypnosis like that. Here's a strange question.
Yeah, I mean, when you do the William Overture. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's not that many female stage hypnotists, and I was asked on a Zoom meeting this afternoon exactly the same question. Why isn't there more female stage hypnotists? I know as a male, I always try and do the assertive Sarge dominance on stage. Do you have to take the same approach?
Why isn't there more female stage hypnotists? I don't know. I could give you 100 different answers. I'm not sure. And do I get dominant on stage? Hell yeah, I do. Of course. But one thing I learned is that for females, mean doesn't work in hypnosis. And, you know, after, you know, so many shows, you really learn to find your personality, you know, who you are on stage. And I learned that kill 'em with kindness for me is better. I've seen other stage hypnotists speak a little bit cheeky,
yes,
in different ways with people. It doesn't work for my personality. I've tried it, didn't work. So I think that, again, it's just building rapport and getting them to know you. But yeah, I mean, there is a time when you do need to deepen your voice and get a little more authoritative in order to, you know, the show has to go your way. It's my show. I'm running the show. You know, you must, you know, and you would never notice, you would never notice it because it's so subtle, and you can change language patterns to be more authoritative, to be, you know, more, you know, indirect, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes with a lot of years of experience, really understanding hypnotic language patterns and having a good grasp. So that way you can seamlessly apply it on stage. So that way nobody understands that what it is, if it's more, you know, indirect or authoritative, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, in that show, what you saw, and I think a lot of people don't really, it took me years and years, thousands of shows to be able to do this, to be able to do that, where there's literally no formal induction. I mean, that one guy where you saw me shake his hand and drop him, that's in real time. He had just come onto stage, and I was able to shock his nervous system that quickly because I felt that rapport, that second of rapport that you need in order to induce trance. So that was all instant inductions to kick off a full-on hypnosis show. I don't always do it, but I do when I feel comfortable, and the reward is so big.
Yeah.
Because it does look too good to be true.
It's such a great convincer for the rest of the committee that are sat there waiting to be hypnotized. When they see something as profound as that, you know, it makes them kind of sit in the seats and go, shit. You know, so Natasha Stanley says, this is amazing. I love nothing more than seeing a confident, intelligent woman absolutely killing it in such a male-dominated field. So there you go. I think you've got a fan there.
Natasha.
There you go.
Yeah.
Adrian Knight asked,
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, when do you think we're going to get back to doing shows as such like that?
I mean, there's a lot of variables involved, as you know. You know, right now for the cruise industry, they're talking about vaccinating everybody from passengers to crew to guest entertainers. Colleges, you know, everybody wants to do what they want to do. There's all these different variables. Hopefully this pandemic will end sooner than later. Again, we don't know. There's different variances. Like there's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, let's hope for tomorrow, but prepare for, you know, whenever it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I mean, the cruise ships have always been so clean anyway, and people that don't cruise won't know it. But the whole washing your hands every time you move into a different room with the washy people, you know, it's always been a thing on cruise ships anyway. So the level of hygiene on ships is, you know, second to none. But I just think they got a kind of a bad rap at the beginning of this outbreak. So yeah, so I mean, entertainment has to come back after this lockdown. So there does seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. I have friends who are acrobats, and they can perform. I have friends who are magicians. They can do virtual shows. The nature of our work is so significantly different. You know, our work depends upon us touching people and hopefully them touching each other, because funnier, right? So, you know, it's such a tough line to walk. Yeah, let's just, you know, try to stay in a place of gratitude until we can continue to do what we love to do.
Yeah, I know there's been a few people have done some like hybrid shows between, especially in the States, that on the grad nights, where it's part in-person show and part Zoom show as well, which is, for me, for what we do, doing an entertainment hypnosis show via Zoom. I see that as a challenge, but there's other different alleyways as such.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really busy with virtual gigs as well, doing a lot of virtual. But I think because having a strong background in NLP and doing therapy for so many years, I think that I'm kind of blessed in the sense where I can teach them tools and then get a few people to do funny things on the other end of the screen and sort of make it a hybrid. But we don't bill it as entertainment. We bill it as education.
Yeah.
So it's still a completely different thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's a great way of pivoting, you know, kind of what we do, and, you know, keeping doing it and keeping your name out there. So I was looking on your website at some of the hybrid Zoom stuff you're doing, and it looks really cool, to be fair. So well done on that. Where do you see the future for, I mean, COVID aside, where do you see the future of stage hypnosis going?
I think stage hypnosis is only going to grow. It's only going to explode. There are more and more people learning hypnosis in general, which will create more stage hypnotists. I think it's a great time to be a hypnotist, a great time to get trained as a hypnotist. If anybody wants to be a stage hypnotist, especially, you know, you ladies out there, or anybody, you know, I know Grant is a great source of advice and knowledge and information, as am I, you know, and it's just encouraging good people to go out and do good things with our industry, and, you know, not making a mockery of it, and really understanding our responsibility. I mean, we do have a really great responsibility to give our profession a good name, no matter the nature of your show, no matter how adult or how family oriented you want it to be. It's still your responsibility to be a good member of our community, so that way we can all continue to work. But I think it's gonna get bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna be part of that wave. I mean, I'm not slowing down. You know, I know you're not slowing down, and it's gonna come back. And when entertainment does come back, it's gonna come back bigger and better, because people are itching for it. And they're gonna come out and support the arts, and it's gonna be great. So I always see, you know, good things ahead.
Brilliant. You mentioned earlier about Napoleon Hill. I always ask guests for 2 books, whether it be stage hypnosis books, personal development books, but 2 books that you think are important or essential for someone that's kind of getting into this industry.
Okay, I didn't know you were going to ask that, but you know what? I'll pull the 2 books I have right now off my desk. It's so funny. The first one, The 4 Agreements. It's a really great book. And you know what? The first agreement is being impeccable with your word. And when you're on stage, you know, like, being impeccable with your word they're all really important. But it's a big one, especially for what we do. Words do hold powers. And this book also talks about how we cast spells with our words. How, you know, in a positive or negative way. And so that's what we do, is we cast spells with our words, and really being able to appreciate and be grateful for, you know, like, don't gossip, for example, you know, just be impeccable with your, you know, it's a really great book. So The 4 Agreements is one. And this is the only other book on my desk right now, which is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, which will also be great for anybody, for a stage hypnotist. There's a little so I guess today, those are the 2 books I recommend. In a month from now, it could be something else, but we'll stick with those 2.
I must admit, I'm a big fan of reading. It is and I've been lucky enough to use lockdown to catch up on a lot of the books that are on the to read list. So that's brilliant. And if you were to give one tip to either yourself starting again or to, again, someone trying to break through in this industry, what tip would that be?
I think just follow your instincts and have fun. I think that being in your 20s, like it's impossible not to have fun. You know, when I start now in my 40s, but when I was in my 20s, and through all the way through my 30s, I had a great time. You know, so have fun. Just, you know, like be true to thyself, you know, be impeccable with your word. Read this book, you know, is really important. And have fun, because I'll say this, as you go through the process, whether you're having a good time or not, will change it, because you are entertaining people. And this is some of the advice I had given to early on in my career to somebody else who I was critiquing. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Nadine, take your own advice, which is have fun on stage. They're only going to have as much fun as you are. So many of these stage hypnotists, especially the guys, you know, you're very serious on stage and you know, very authoritative. Well, you know, they're there to have a good time. So have fun with your audience, because if you're having fun, they're going to have fun. If you're serious, they're going to be serious. You're the leader. And so lead with fun, because entertainment. And so that I think that's a really big one.
Yeah, no,
just to remember the whole point. The whole point is fun.
Yeah, it's a massive point, is that you just said about, you know, you've got to enjoy yourself. A lot of audiences now are so used to watching entertainment on television that they're not, you know, they don't know how to be an audience. So they look to you as a leader on how to respond. And like you said, if you're very down and very serious, then they take it as a very down and serious show. If you're having loads of fun, there's a Australian hypnotist, Matt Hale, who's just, I mean, his show's called Bonkers, and he really is. He's jumping around. He's got loads of energy, and that infuses the audience. So that's an absolutely diamond tip, is that.
Oh, I love that name, Bonkers. That's such a great name.
Yes.
Good for him. I haven't heard of him yet. I'll look him up.
Oh,
Bonkers.
He's absolutely. He always wins the Perth Fringe Award for comedy every year. Great guy. We had him on the show.
Yay.
Oh yeah,
I love that a stage hypnotist is getting that. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah,
I'm immediately a fan. What's his name? Sorry.
Matt Hale.
Matt Hale. All right.
Matt Hale, brilliant, and just so much energy, so positive, and he even has his own dance when he first comes out. It's just, his show's crazy, but in a really nice way, crazy as well. So, you know, it's Australia's produced some awesome hypnotists. Yeah, yes, and so you know, to be fair, we've all got great hypnotists in and amongst us somewhere. We've got some terrible ones and some brilliant ones here in the UK, especially in the States, because it's so much more accepted over there. Here in the UK, we've got, you know, for us to perform in each council, we have to have special permission to perform hypnosis. We've got some really antiquated laws over here, but over in the States, you guys have it in high schools, and it makes it more acceptable. And the more people are doing hypnosis, the better hypnosis is done. So yeah, it's about being a positive beacon for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Canadian, so you know, in Canada, it's another really great place.
Oh yeah, Canada's got some great hypnotists come from there. So it must be the cold weather. So what are you doing with yourself now whilst you're not on stage? How are you using that time?
Well, I mean, before all this happened, I've been doing a lot of work with cancer patients for a long time. And so it's just continuing working with my private clients. I work with a lot of people with pain, specifically phantom pain. So just really continuing, just staying at my core, staying centered and balanced in that respect. My creative juices have just been going nuts, flowing. It's been bonkers. I love that name for a show. I'm so happy for him. I would never in a million years think of that. That's such a great name.
It is very
but so also too, just being really creative, so that way when I do get back on stage, you know, I've tweaked my pre-show a lot.
Yeah.
So and the pre-show is really important. So I've tweaked that. I've tweaked how I'm going to present some of my material. So just getting excited to go out and execute, you know, all the creative stuff, because it's very abstract until it's actually on stage. And we can't practice without volunteer. We actually have to practice, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also too, you know, I moved, connecting with my family a lot more. You know, just the same as everybody else. Same cooking. I mean, same as everybody.
Yeah.
Been working on some really new and exciting projects, but you know, that's another 6 months down the line. You know, so just being innovative.
Yeah, I must admit the lockdown has been nice on the sense of from going from being very busy and performing and not having time to do things. It does give you that chance to be creative and look at those other projects and look at the bigger picture coming out of it. So yeah, it's been positive in some senses. So yeah. So Nadine, thank you very much for being our guest this evening. I've put your website on the screen as well and in the comment section. If anyone wants to get in touch and follow you on your social medias as well and subscribe on your YouTube channel. Thank you very much for being our guest tonight. Do you have any final words for the people watching?
I'm just so grateful, Grant. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher Kress. Thanks for the shout out. Another amazing colleague. And I'm just so grateful for you having me. And if anybody, you know, needs any hypnosis advice, hit me up.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I shall see you soon.
Thanks, Brent. Bye-bye.